All very welcome here today. And as Chairman of Louth County Council, I'd like to extend a welcome to you all. It's great to see so many people turning up. It is to do with transport, rural transport, or transport, public transport of any description, but mainly to do with our local link service. I have a little quote, and that was just to say that all public transport to me is rural, because without the rural aspect to it, it just doesn't exist. When you think of the buses, particularly the matches coaches that we have here, they travel from here to Dublin back again, and similarly most of the coaches are travelling from some part of Ireland to Dublin or on. You have McGinley from Donegal to pass through this area as well. But today I'd like to extend my hand, and I hope yours as well, to Mr. Paddy Matches, because Paddy, believe it or not, has won an award for Matches Coaches. He's the General Manager of Matches Coaches, and he's here today. I think he was just inside the door there. Well, he was telling me that he's the only person that he knows of in these islands, that is Great Britain or Ireland, that has won this award. And it's the Green Award for tourism. And it's for buses that are eco-friendly. And his buses certainly must be eco-friendly to have won the silver award. He said he's aiming for the gold next year. So well done again, Paddy. That wasn't meant to come up there. But anyway, when we talk about bus service, I know a few years back that the local groups where I am down in South Louth had fierce difficulty in accessing the town of Drogheda, basically, or anywhere they want to go within that area. And when I talk about that, we're talking about the HSE would have a special bus. The school children have a bus, or buses. There's a special bus for special school children also. And you have your local link bus. You have then the normal service bus. And they're all working at different levels. And some people will turn around and say, we don't have any buses in this area. I know it was said in our area once, and I said, look, there are 5 services in and out of our area every day. And yet people that were in the area didn't know about it. But that was only 5 services that were provided by Bus Éireann. They weren't counting all the other services that are there throughout the day as well. So you could have totaled about 10. But there's no coordination between them all. And I think that's where it's all fallen down. But local links is where you have this, the buses that bring you door to door, or from your door to where you want to go and back again. And that's the advantage that it has. There are some services like that, but if you coordinated quite a few of the services, there wouldn't be any need. Your bus could be used throughout the day rather than just once a week. That's the problem, as I see it, with where our buses or bus services are disconnected, and there needs to be serious work done on integrating them all, having them working off the same hymn sheet, and being more eco-friendly, just like Matches coaches are, but eco-friendly in the services that they provide and when they're provided. They're provided when people need them and to where people need them. Even in the Cooley area, there's a problem up there where I think Eva was telling me earlier on, and I hope she gets to speak about it, that the men's sheds are having problems up there, whereby if there was a bus service that they could probably have 3 or 4 times as many men in the men's shed. But again, it's something that can be worked on, and I'm sure she will come up with a solution to that. Hopefully somebody will come up with a solution for her. But I'd like to congratulate you all and wish you every success today on what you're about to achieve, which is hopefully the retention of the local link service and an extension of it for this area, which is Louth, Meath and Fingal. But well done to you all, and congratulations to everybody that has kept it going for so many years. It's over 10 years now, is it, that it's on the go in some shape or form. But well done to you all, and the best of luck into the future. Thank you.
Now, good afternoon, everybody. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Mary Deary, I'm the Administrative Officer in the office, the Social and Community Office in Louth County Council. So you're all very welcome here today. I'd like to call now on the Chief Executive of Louth County Council to welcome you all here on behalf of the staff of Louth County Council.
Thanks very much, Mary. I just want to add my own voice to that of the Cathaoirleach Oliver Tully, just to welcome you all and to thank you so much for coming. It's wonderful to come here and see such a magnificent turnout. I have to say from up here of mostly ladies, but that's all right. I suppose I've had a long involvement with rural transport, both as a member of the Rural Transport Advisory Group in Louth under Louth Leader Partnership for a number of years, and also through the Age Friendly Forum and the work that we were trying to do to improve services for our older people around the county. So even though I live in a very urban area myself in Dundalk, I have heard about the problems and I know about the issues that there are out there. So today is very much about hearing, probably again in many cases, hearing again your opinions and your voice and how you feel about what's happening or what you'd like to see happening. I don't think anybody's going to wave a magic wand maybe and solve all the problems, but if we don't know all the problems, I suppose there's no hope of us solving them. So I'd encourage you all to participate. Don't feel that what you're going to say might sound stupid or that you're not important enough to be putting forward an opinion. That's why you're here and we want to hear about it. I'm only sorry that I can't give the whole afternoon and I'll have to leave before it's finished, but I look forward very much to seeing what comes out of today and to seeing all of the priorities and the issues that you raise. And, you know, they will be looked at. It's not a wasted exercise. And as I say, even though there mightn't be a magic wand, you never know. You get your issue on the table and you keep, I didn't do anything, and you keep plugging away at it, and sooner or later your wish might be granted. And you're here on behalf of all the other people in your community as well, because I suppose we couldn't fit 100 and something thousand people into the room. So you're here on behalf of all the people of County Louth, and your opinion is very, very important, and we value it very much. And I thank you very much indeed for making the effort to get here and to join us this afternoon. And I hope you enjoy it and you meet a few new friends and so on. And thanks very much.
Okay, so you've had your refreshments and you've had the introductions and you had the pleasantries. Now it's time to work. So we're here now for two reasons today. One is to talk about the Rural Transport Programme for Louth over the next few years. And just to give you an idea of who's in the room, and just in case you don't know, as well as service users, we have service providers. And with that, we have some elected members of Louth County Council, we have some staff from Louth County Council, we have registered members of the Public Participation Network, we have the members of the Louth Age Friendly Alliance, members of the Louth Age Friendly Transport Group, members of Louth Older People's Forum, and members of Louth Corlin and Ogue. The second reason we're here today is I would like to put a face on Flexibus, because Flexibus is going to be the transport coordination unit for the rural transport programme going forward. So that's important that you know who Flexibus is, and that it's not just a name somewhere that lives up in Navan, that you actually know the faces. So Louth County Council, as all other county councils, has been given a stronger role in community and economic development after the 2014 Act last year. So what does that mean? That means that Louth County Council is committed and delighted to be able to converse and talk to the people of Louth when delivering programmes and services across a wide range of services. So that's your opportunity today to let us know what you want for the rural transport programme for Louth, maybe up to 6 years. That's what we're talking about for today. And capture your thoughts on what it's like now and where you would like it to go. Areas, as in geographical areas, and thematic areas, whether it be people with disabilities or whatever. So, can I just call out these names from Flexibus? This is an embarrassment thing. I didn't tell the people in advance because I knew they wouldn't do it, so I'm telling them now. These are the people now, I just want to stand up, the faces of Flexibus, just to let you know who they are. Patricia Cassidy. Deirdre Murtha. Stephen McGowan, Helen Smith, Imelda McKenna, and then we have Brian Daly here in the room as well, who's looking after her cameras, and we are missing Miriam McKenna, who is the driving force behind Flexibus, but I think, Patricia, you might have had a bit of baby brain when you were organising the date because she forgot Miriam was on holidays for today. So it might be an excuse to get the woman to slow down because she works so hard. Before we go any further, I'm just going to call on Patricia to give you an overview in a PowerPoint in relation to where the Rural Transport Programme came from, where it's heading to go, and then that's going to set the context for you to do the workshops later. So I'm going to hand you over to Patricia.
Rural transport passengers, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon and welcome to what I hope is going to be a very fruitful afternoon of conversation, problem solving and also solution finding. My name is Patricia Cassidy and I work in Flexibus as the operations manager. Flexibus is the rural transport group. We're based in County Meath, but we look after County Meath, County Louth and, if you like, Fingal, which is kind of the North Dublin area. So in my presentation today, I'm going to look at the history of the Rural Transport Programme, so kind of where it all started, the board of directors that we have, how Flexibus operates and how we're going to operate, the current services that you have in County Louth. Then we're going to look at the 3 guiding questions. I'm just going to put them up on the board so you can see them. And then what we intend to do with the information that we're going to gather. So up until January of this year, the Rural Transport Programme was run under Louth Leader. Louth Links was in the very capable hands of Marianne, Kevin and Mavis. And Mavis and Marianne are here today as well. So it's great to see you. The services that are running today are the services that were started back in 2008 when Louth originally got rural transport. Huge work has been done by the team in Louth Links up until now, and I feel that it's important to give credit where credit is due, and I think that it's important that we say that Louth Leader has done a great job so far. So the Rural Transport Programme, it started back as an initiative back in 2002. At the beginning, it was funded under the Department of Transport, and Pobble managed the programme. So at the beginning there was only 8 groups and Meath was one of those. So if you like, we've been around, or Flexibus has been around since the beginning. And at this time then 26 other groups were given money so that they could see, is there a need for rural transport in your areas? So at this stage there was still no rural transport here in County Louth. And it was only in 2006 after the initiative was called a programme, or it was renamed as a programme, that Louth was given funding for services, and these started late in 2008. So in 2013, the management of the programme moved from Pobble to the National Transport Authority, so the NTA. And if you like, this is their logo down here for Ireland, so the Transport for Ireland and then the NTA as well. So from the 35 programmes that we had in Ireland, they've kind of just all been brought down to now only having 8 transport coordination units. So where there was 25 companies that looked after rural transport all over Ireland, now today there is only 18. So we are the group, and our area is Louth, Meath and Fingal. And our offices are based in Navan. And our remit then is to manage the current service provision in the 3 counties, to review the services, so to look at the service that we have, to see what is working and to see what's not working. So are there any services that are needed? Is there any services missing? So I don't know that for County Louth, but I know that everybody here has a fairly good idea what is missing and what you need. So this is your opportunity to tell us what you need so we can plan for these services and we can implement them as best we can. So in Flexibus then we have a board of directors, and they're all named up here as well. So the board of directors in any company is, if you like, they're a group of people that work tirelessly behind the scenes. So these are, if you like, the people with no faces that do all the planning, and they always work for the greater good of the company. So they used their own vision, they used our mission statement and the vision for the company. And our board are no different, and they work very hard. So as you can see, the board brings together the three areas. So we have County Louth, County Meath and Fingal all represented. So the county councils are there, but more importantly, our communities are there, as well as disability. So this mix of a board ensures that the company will continue to be community-led, listen and also influence policies and plans in the various counties. And for us today, we will be speaking to the board of Flexibus to tell them exactly what services that we want in County Louth. So Flexibus today has over 80 services in total, okay? So that's 80 services that go in and out every day. So we work in different areas such as rural services, community training and contracts. And with all these different spokes, this is what keeps our wheels turning. Accessibility, as we know, is a game changer, and accessibility is so important in 2015. It's great having a wonderful bus service that travels from A to B, but if we cannot manage to ensure that people that live off the main roads or that need to go to places that are off the main roads cannot be accommodated, then that's why there's a need for rural transport. A service that can allow you to get your pension, keep your independence, bring you to your local town or your village, to get your groceries, to allow you to have a social life without the reliance on others, then this is what we strive for. This is what we're all about. So behind me, you can see the current service provision in Louth, and some of these services, oh sorry, there we go. So here we have all the services that we currently have in County Louth. Some of these services are daily, some of them weekly, fortnightly and monthly, okay? So you might see your area up there, but maybe you didn't know that the service was there. Maybe you know that the service is there, but maybe it doesn't go where you want it to go. So the service delivery then in County Louth to date. So over the last few weeks and months, you've met myself and Miriam out on the different bus services, meeting you all to see how things are going. One thing that everybody that we see on the bus is that drivers are so courteous, so helpful and so good and so nice. And one thing that you always say is, please don't get rid of my bus and please don't get rid of my driver, because they're one and the same thing and they're so important. And we totally understand that, and there's absolutely no way that we want to try and get rid of any transport services, because that's the last thing anybody wants. So I suppose if that's where we're going from, then we have to make sure then that there's bums on seats, because these are the things that are so important, okay? Operators go out of their way to ensure that the passengers are cared for. So I've seen the way, you know, different drivers get out, they take your shopping into the bus, they take it off the bus for you and they drop it into the house for you. And that's what rural transport is all about. That's why we are here, and that's what we do. Passengers are very happy with the services, and you guys have loads of great ideas as to how we can increase the capacity then that are on the buses as well. But I suppose one thing that's very important is that the return times that we have, they're very important that we keep to those. But maybe today one of the things that you want to say is that yes, it's a great service that we have going into Dundalk or into Drogheda, but we need more time, or there's too much time, and maybe we need to be brought back earlier. And these are the things that we have to talk about and then kind of come back to you then with a solution. So why are we here today? So there was a report done called the International Experiences on Public Transport Provision in Rural Areas, and this was carried out by the OECD. The report concludes that the experiences and challenges in public transport provision for Ireland are similar across countries around the world. So this whole problem of not having rural transport, it's not just an Irish problem, it's all over the world. So an ageing society and increasing population concentrations in cities are further contributing to an increase in the unit cost of providing public transport services in rural areas. So rising operating costs for bus services and limits on public funding have eroded the ability of national and local authorities to increase funding or to subsidise public transport at previous service levels. So we can't afford to do what we were doing, so we have to change, we have to do something else. So in rural areas, it's very difficult for conventional public transport to meet all the different accessible needs for different service user groups. So what my needs are could be completely different to what your needs are. And these are the things that we have to try and see. What are the needs that we have, and how can we try and overcome them? So further, Many different authorities are responsible for the administration, procurement, planning of various passenger transport services, and this has led to concerns over increasing costs and attempts to increase coordination among different authorities to try and gain savings. And I suppose that's the reason why today we have these 18 groups that are looking after the rural transport instead of having the 35 that we would have had 2 years ago. So no one single approach at a local level is going to work. So what we need to do is that we have to start thinking outside the box. How can we do what we want to do? Do we need to introduce new flexible transport solutions that are demand responsive transport, like a community car? So do we want a case where maybe I need to get to a hospital appointment, I know somebody that's retired maybe has nothing to do in their afternoons or their days and would like to drive. So there's lots and lots of different solutions there, but we just have to start thinking about how can we do these things and how can we make them work. Today is going to create a platform for a fresh approach, and we look forward to hearing, we look forward to hearing exactly what your views are. Today is the day to shape the future of our rural transport here in County Louth, to put all our ideas forward, no matter how mad or how crazy they may seem. We need to listen, and you need to tell us what you want. As Joan said about men, there's very few men here. Why is that? Are men using the rural transport services? Are there no men in County Louth? So there's plenty of men there. Why aren't they using the services? Is there something that we can do to try and see if we can increase the amount of men that are using the services? Is there, so we have to start thinking about all these things. We all know people in our own areas that would absolutely love to use the bus, but for whatever reason, they just don't use the bus. So our 3 questions today, our first question there is, are the existing services adequate for your area? So where do you live? Are the services adequate? What changes can we make to the service to increase passengers using it? Our next question then is, are there specific transport services needed in County Louth that can be provided? So is there any specific transport issue that you have that you think that we need to look at today? It doesn't matter how silly or how maybe it's really not important, but all of these things, you might have the problem at this table here, but what you'll find is that you might have the same problem at 6 or 7 other tables as well. And then the third question then is over the next 3 years. But even as Mary said, we can even look at over the next 6 years. How can we work together to get the best out of our transport services? What state agencies or local agencies do we need to involve, and how can they help? Okay, so that's a really big question, but you have to start thinking about these now, because as Mary said, you've had the food, you've had the tea, and now it's time to start working as well. So after today, the information that we get, it's going to go to Louth County Council, and they're going to put together their report. So it's going to go into the development plan for County Louth. Flexibus are also going to take a copy of that information as well. And along with the Board of Directors, we're going to put a proposal together to the National Transport Authority, the people that give us the money to do what we do, and ask them for more money, or ask them for more services, ask them to increase the amount of services that we can give here in County Louth. But I can't just go and say that to the NTA. I need you to tell me what services that you want in County Louth, so that together we in County Louth can go and tell the NTA exactly what services that we want. So on the tables in front of you, our contact information is there. Please do get in contact with us at any stage after today. And if you have any questions on any of the services that are there, or if you go home tonight and you wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning and you go, God, I should have said that earlier on today, give us a call tomorrow, or give us a call, any day next week. It doesn't matter. Our numbers are on the pens, on the magnets, on the calendars. They're absolutely everywhere. So take that information home with you, and please do get in contact if you need to. So thank you very much for your time this afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and I look forward to your fruitful discussions over the next hour and a half. Thank you.
Thanks, Patricia. Just to, I suppose, wrap up a few things that Patricia said there. I travelled in 2011, I think it was, we hosted a World Health Organization delegation here in Louth, and we produced a DVD on different aspects of the Age Friendly County programme, and one of them was the Rural Transport programme, because it was one of the programmes we were very proud of. And I travelled on a bus while we did the DVD, and there was one gentleman in it, I think about 11 ladies, and he loved it. So I don't know why the men in Louth are not getting more involved. But just, I suppose, to not let today go without marking the fact that I travelled on the bus that day with Sandra from Minty, and unfortunately Sandra has passed away recently. And I think just to take a second just to think of Sandra today, because I know she did put an awful lot into the rural transport programme, and I know she cared deeply for the clients and the passengers that travelled with her. With that said, we're going to start to work. Question 1 first. To question 2. So question 3. Over the next 3 years, and I'd even push that out to 6 years, over the next 3 to 6 years, how can we work together to get the best out of our transport services? What state agencies or local agencies do we need to involve, and how can they help? So when you're looking at state agencies, you're looking at the local authority, you're looking at the HSE, you're looking at the Education Training Board, which used to be the VEC, you're looking at Louth Leader Partnership, any publicly funded bodies that's in County Louth. How can we work together to have a great service? Any of the groups who are registered with the PPN or the Louth Older People's Forum will receive an email from Louth County Council every Friday with all the details of events, training events, funding opportunities, and all of that sort of stuff on a Friday. And if you're not registered with the PPN or you're not registered with the Older People's Forum, get registered, and we can work with Patricia, and we can get that information out to the groups on a weekly basis, and also Stephen with Aircode as well, whatever you need to put up, and we can create some space on both websites to allow the information to be put out there. I'm thinking of times like Bealtaine, again with the Older People's Forum and the Age Friendly County programme in mind. The month of May, so many events on, and wouldn't it be great to get more people out to them, and maybe the transport is the issue. Would you like to wrap up, Andy, just as the chairperson of the transport group?
Well, I'll just say 2 words.
Yeah.
I think, again, we're very fortunate to have somebody like Mary to have organised today and to have captured all the groups across the county to look at what is rural transport. Mary has been very loyal to the transport group in recent years, and then now that we have Flexibus, who have great experience in terms of organising community car. I think if there was one message I'd say to you all leaving today is, please come back to us with your local messages. We've got general feedback today. I'd love a community group to ring up on Monday and say, we think we could pull together a community car. Could we sit down with Patricia? Don't wait. I used to be a civil servant in a former life. Don't wait for that. I think if you can do it within your own resources, organise your local community, whether it's an active retirement group or whatever, let's get up and get going, and making sure that there are no men's locked in sheds and forgotten about, that they can be brought into town on a Saturday for a pint to watch the Ireland-France rugby match or the local Gaelic match or wherever. And for you ladies who are so well organised, is to kick their doors of their cars and get them out. And I think really if local communities themselves would push us a little bit, it'll be a real help. Thank you very much.